We kick this off. The decision in Group C will fall on Autumn Leaves and Tidehunters, the two new maps selected by Lin, the absolute legend, second most decorated player in the world, the war chief of the Horde, facing the hottest human in the entire scene. Way better than Sock in recent weeks and months. He's the human player to look out for. He's one of the star players of this tournament. And Lin, what would a WGL Summer playoff be without him? Number 2 in the ELO ranking, but he can't really bring it to the table so far. If you ask me, there were some flaws in his game, and it's not allowed to happen today. But as I said, he only needs one map, and then he breaks that tie and he's through. That sounds doable on paper, especially when you look at the statistics of the two. 19-3 in favor of Lin in all-time comparison, and a 6-1-1 score for Lin in Orc versus Human on this very patch. But the last encounter between them was in next spring, the game for third. That was a win for Chaemiko, and Chaemiko is 16-6 on a 5-0 win streak versus Orc on this very patch. So will it be a different result than the DreamHack regional semifinals where Lin just 3-0'd Chaemiko?
I would certainly think so. I think this is the best Chaemiko we've ever seen. I'm really looking forward to this match. It seems like Chaemiko, or whoever it was, I'm not sure who came up with it, but the humans finally found the strategy. How many months did it take of them just getting bullied and destroyed by Farsi Headhunters? But somebody found seemingly the answer with a tier 2 push with a Beastmaster being aggressive early on in the mid game. In fact, it was Carson yesterday who did a Theory Craft episode on just this. So if you want to go really into detail, you can check that out after the games today. And yeah, it's very interesting. It's the Farsi, or the AM rather, creeping level 2 quickly and then being completely evasive, not taking a fight at all until he has like 5-6 footies, something like that, with defend. And then on tier 2, we have a Tavern Hero coming in, normally the Beastmaster, and it's finally going to be the time for the human to be aggressive. We all know how 3 to 4 to 5 Headhunters can trade so favorably well against basically everything, but once you have second hero and defend footies, that's when the human can take charge. We've seen that now a couple of times, so has Lin, so now the ball is in Lin's court to counter that new human style.
And in the history of competitive Warcraft 3, how often was the ball in Lin's court, and how often did he find solutions? Chaemiko and Sok have both displayed this style. Lin had a couple of days time to prepare for this very important match right here. So if there's an Orc player coming up with a solution against this new style, it's gotta be Lin.
Yeah, absolutely. Thinking back to previous WGL years when he was, for example, having this rivalry with Infi, their meta between the two of them was always so fascinating. When at WGL, Lin debuted the build, for example, with 2 Grunts into 2 Shaman into 2 Kodos, which was revolutionary. Nobody did that before and worked out so well. Lin is definitely by far the best Orc versus Human player in the world historically, if he brings his A game. So far, it's looking pretty solid. The Farsi are here being aggressive. The AM playing it pretty passively. Interesting, this time Chaemiko is not going for an early tower, which sometimes we saw before, to have that arcane security in the main. If you have the arcane in the main, you can just leave your base, go out on the map, and threaten creeping there. But here Chaemiko now is forced to stay back on his side of the map, and kind of surprised, honestly, to see this, because the early arcanes have been looking pretty good for the humans.
I agree, but if you can cut some corners and you feel comfortable, if you feel confident, then why not skip it? There we go. A little later, earlier tech with that, and so far nothing really happens, right? They are inviting each other to a dance, but nobody really finds the rhythm yet. But this is the first big damage done, with the farm being a little delayed, but that doesn't do too much, I guess, with power build, especially on the human side. He should be able to get up to 36 and then create some room for the second hero.
This AM is slowed down though. Usually he would like to get level 2 fast, and that is what the Arcane Tower can ironically give you. It can help you creep. Because if you have Arcane in the main, you're more safe, and then the AM can run out on the map, creep 1 green camp somewhere, the Farsi has to follow him, and you can use the militia, call them during tech, and creep the green camp on the to the left-hand side of your main base. Pretty much for free, and that would be level 2, so this all comes down, the fact that the AM didn't get level 2 yet, to the Arcane Tower, more or less, and It seems like that might have been the better choice, but anyways, yeah, he's gonna have a faster tech certainly. Tier 2 is about to finish, and we're definitely expecting a Tavern hero. Nowadays, it seems like you have to go for that tempo advantage as human, and you want to try to punish these headhunters if you can with defend and second hero. The question then lies between Beastmaster and Panda normally for that second hero choice.
All right, then let's see what kind of fellow we see from the Tavern here. For Lin, if he's not making it here, if he's losing both maps and later the tiebreaker, a possible tiebreaker versus Hawk, then it's a second disaster in a row for him in WGL. Last time he was eliminated by also a human player. History could repeat in Summer, where it was Fortitude towering him out of the tournament. But here we see he has to face a Panda today.
Alright, Panda coming in. He is quite good here against these fairly high number of headhunters, but it is already starting to transition into grunts. 5 headhunters into grunts. The grunts won't care about the Breath of Fire so much, and also not so much about the defense. So this early transition by Lin does make sense. With this aggressive play, you definitely want to find some damage, kill some headhunters, cancel some buildings, and this is where the Beastmaster is usually better. Having 2 to 3 summons out is going to be quite the threat. The Panda so far not really finding the most critical damage, but now finding a surround on the grunt. He's going to take that one out, but Footy's taking quite a bit of damage in the meantime.
Okay, the headhunters there suffering. We gotta say, I think something you didn't... Oh, let's wait a second. One grunt down, as you said. TC comes in with a stomp early, secures that level 2 and gets a double kill on the Footman. Nice sequence of events for Lin, who's going for troll regeneration, which is absolutely necessary here against the Panda's Breath of Fire. We gotta say there's a little bit on the line for Chaemiko as well. It's not like this match is for nothing. If Lin secures a 2-0 victory, he's on top of the group, secures the better seed. So Chaemiko at least needs one map to have a little bit more security coming into the playoffs.
Absolutely. So far the damage wasn't too critical, but now Chaemiko finds these headhunters again, and guess what? They're all nicely banged up already thanks to that Breath of Fire. Takes out 2 more. Is he gonna be thirsty enough to go for a third? Seems like he is. There's another Breath of Fire coming in. Fitting, I suppose, that the Panda is the thirsty hero here. He has used most of his mana already. If he dies here, it's not even the end of the world. Level 1 hero would be returning pretty quickly. But okay, this headhunter shall not die. So it was a total of 1 grunt going down and 2 headhunters, I believe.
Okay, so Lin still sitting at 40, his supply stuck for now. He has some time to queue some upgrades, I guess, to make up for the lack of a burrow. Chaemiko on the other side, he's down in supply, but has the time to catch up. We see some casters coming there as well. Well, Lin is moving out a little to the inner outskirts, the outer inskirts of this map, going for the shop, and shops are so important for heal scrolls and invo potions.
There's no MK in the game. Maybe he doesn't even need the invos so much. Maybe he can save some money.
Well, that's
but yeah,
Panda,
especially...
though.
Yeah, against a Panda, you definitely want the heal scroll. That's for certain.
Invo potion. Yeah, it's a brain fart here.
He did buy it there. Supply-wise, we're fairly even. Chaemiko with lots of gold, by the way. His macro perhaps slipping a little bit. Maybe he didn't start production there instantaneously. Farseer comes in. Oh, this is a big move. Huge item right here. Huge last hit as well. Last hit and item go to the human. Chain Lightning there could have made a huge difference, but the Farseer didn't have mana because he had to use so much mana in the defense earlier. Big pick for Chaemiko here, and heal wards can be amazing.
Absolutely. In the right position. It's not too easy because there's a lot of range in Lin's army. Chaemiko willing to brawl once again. He has to face a level 3 Farseer now. Not opting for a spell yet. Slow is kicking in, but Lin's timing of the retreat is excellent.
Yeah, satisfied with what he got there. If you're playing Beastmaster second, that hero certainly falls off quite a bit later into the game. The summons are decent, but not very powerful AoE abilities, whereas the Panda's Breath of Fire can certainly be very good, especially once the AM is level 3 or 4 to get the Brilliance too, which I guess in this case he should get on level 3, and the Panda gets level 3 himself. There's going to be a lot of DPS that's going to stack up. And I think Lin is going to need more than just 1 heal scroll then to go into these fights. We finally have breakers coming out as well. Chaemiko is still pretty rich, and guess what? He's going to go for the expansion. It's something we've seen quite a bit, especially with the Beastmaster. But, well, Lin's around the corner and Chaemiko is going to change his mind here.
Yeah, probably the worst timing to go for that Town Hall. Maybe he thought that Lin would be going for an expansion as well, as he's kind of greedy to get his second base up in multiple matchups, but that's not the case here. Dispel all over the place. Also the Breath of Fire. Lin has to play with a level 2 Panda here. We got Drunken Haze for a bit of mischance, and you see that on the Headhunters in the back. The Heal Ward did an excellent job so far. He's trading only Footman for now, if I saw that correctly. Kodo comes in for a munch, has a speed scroll, gets a breaker, and Lin's army is hurt, but not dead.
Of course, over long extended periods, always going to look good for the human with the slow and with the heals. TC almost getting surrounded there. It's going to force a TP out. One more kill. TC gets level 3, and Lin saves a lot of his army. But it's all very hurt. It's going to take a lot of heal salves to heal that back up again.
How jelly is he of that heal ward now?
Oh, yeah, true. In this fight, he didn't even have to use the heal scroll. He kept it in his inventory and is going to be able to bring that to the next fight, still available. That
saved, of course, a lot. Panda, I think he needs level 3 to really have that big impact. But Chaemiko won't probably have the time to move out too far out on the map, because he's trying to set up this expansion once again, and it's up to Lin to break that.
It's going to have very good timing here once again. And again, a cancel by Chaemiko.
Excellent.
Normally, canceling buildings gives you 75% resources back, but if you power build, you're going to get a lot less than that back. So this is quite costly every time. Another breaker here getting intercepted. Lin showing all of his class here in the late game, knowing exactly where he has to be. He's canceling the expansion and preventing the Panda from leveling at the same time. Wonderful play here by the Orc. And Chaemiko, he still does not quite have that level 3 on the second hero.
The heal ward uptime was, I don't know, 0.1 second or something. Lin immediately counters that. Chain Lightning rattles through, secures another kill, but also Panda level 3. And now it's a whole different beast. Militia coming in.
Oh. Yeah, here comes the first combo. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, wonderful damage, but also Lightning Shield Stomp on the left-hand side. We see the Dispel finally, but there was some good damage from the Lightning Shield. Lightning Shield reapplied. Militia just have to run away. They're not able to do anything here. Second heal scroll committed by Lin as well, and suddenly everything is super healthy. Panda with one more Breath of Fire. That was the last one. We have a heal ward in the back, but probably, again, not going to stand for too long. Chaemiko going to lose quite a bit of supply here. And Lin, again, takes a wonderful fight and is going to retreat with most of his army still alive.
This is the excellence that we are used to seeing from Lin in high-pressure situations. The positioning on the map, the decisions in the fight, the execution of the fight. So far, this is all flawless. And Hawk is probably watching this match, cheering for Chaemiko, but it's not looking good. If Lin wins one map, the Russian is out. And the second map would be basically a best of one for the group stage victory.
Absolutely. We have an expansion coming in the meantime. I wonder what the timing on this is. If this is close to finish, then it's looking absolutely glorious here for the Orc. He's going to get level 4 on the TC, but now actually it's him who's getting creep-jacked. He's not used to that feeling yet this game. One run might be going down. Panda is invis.
Triple kill.
Help. Oh, what?
Wasn't it?
Two?
Okay, gets it 2. Right. That was not bad at all. That was maybe the comeback move for Chaemiko, who apparently gave up on that Expo idea very, very far away. But Lin winning 2 fights in a row. Now he feels brave on the natural expansion. See a red... oh, wow. It's already 60%. Chaemiko has to scout and punish this.
Yeah, he's sending over an Invis Water Elemental. That one should be seeing it, but it might be perhaps a bit too late. Chaemiko can't really go for the Expo himself anymore because his lumber is too low. He had to call a lot of militia every now and then, and of course had to go for these cancels. So he's stuck now on 1 base, but he has a decent hero to stay on 1 base. With a Panda, right? If he had a Beast Bass, this would be much more problematic, but this Panda is looking quite strong now. Especially since he has double mana potion and big invul.
He can burn this into the ground, and man, we were wrong. Chaemiko arriving at the perfect time with so much mana and so much Breath of Fire. That Great Hall is gone, and that was so much time bought now. Chaemiko has the supply lead, and he's picking up momentum. Like, he's outplaying Lin quite a bit in the past 3 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Normally we always say it's all about hero levels, and the TC and the MK are going to be the X factors. But here, no Mountain King, rather a Panda. Heal scrolls also going to be important. 2 heal scrolls on both sides. Of course, the issue here for the Orc is the longer it goes, the more breakers there are, the less effective a TC is going to be. But it's not that many breakers out yet, and we might see the next fight breaking out once again. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, good damage. Is it going to force the heal scroll right away? Not yet. Lin's still holding on to it. Chain Lightning rattling through. There's the heal scroll now. Heal scroll also on the human side. Seems like Chaemiko again needs Militia. He's kind of close to the main, but the Militia are on their way in. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire coming in again. More damage against the Orc. And the Panda still has lots of mana here to use.
Absolutely. Waiting for the right concave, I guess. Lightning Shield again needs to dispel it immediately, but it's not coming. There we go. Countered by the next huge AoE. Second heal scroll used for Chaemiko. Lin is about to drop a lot, including that TC. Ends now the Panda, so he can't follow up. But Drunken Haze would have slowed down the army against the speed scroll. But dust settles, and Chaemiko, again, with excellent execution. Lin still has one heal scroll left. Could have used that in the fight. But oh boy, does he need to recover now.
Yeah, man, this slow plus heal from the Priest and the Panda, this human army is coming nicely together. And Lin is having some issues here, having no healers of his own. He has heal scrolls, yes, but nothing else. What he certainly does have, though, is high movement speed with the aura, and also pretty good building damage with Raiders. Lin could start to go into a base race kind of hit-and-run playstyle now. That's oftentimes the issue with human in the late game. You are pretty slow, especially with a caster army like this. Takes you a long time to move across the map. Much easier for Lin to do this. Again, good Water Elemental Scout sees the expansion. And Lin's going to feel forced here to go back and defend there. And Chaemiko might be looking for the next fight. Oh my god, dude. He's got big mana potion now as well on the Panda.
Okay, that is a lot of mana. Level 4 Archmage. Oh, the Farseer getting caught off guard. He has no staff, he has no TP. Buys one staff now. There's of course no disable in the absence of a Panda, so he salvages this. Couple of resources you don't necessarily want to invest at this stage of the game, but he got the heal scrolls, and now it's 2 versus 0.
That tower, if it comes up, could be quite a nice help. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, huge combo! Basically requires the heal scroll right away. There's 2 of them for Lin here, and they're going to be absolutely monumental in trying to defend here. TC getting blocked by the breakers. Good movement by Chaemiko. Always using the breakers to make the life for the TC difficult. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire again against the Raiders. They're all dropping low, but so is the Panda. Ends there flying. Second hero now getting focused, but he has... No, he doesn't have the invo anymore. Ah, no, he just used it. Sorry.
The big one.
Just uses a second go. He's going to be safe here for 15 seconds. Next Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire coming in. So much damage. And that is... another heal scroll here needed in just a moment.
Oh yeah, 3 Raiders, man. This is 9 supply about to drop. Lin has a tower up, but what does this do? This time, Chaemiko's position in the fight way better. Breakers in the front, you mentioned it! And that's the double kill. Oh, Blizzard on top as well. The Chaemiko special. The Song of Ice and Fire. Will Lin break now? Level 4 on the Panda. He's a little in trouble. Now there's Invis again. No AoE dispelled, so he can't break that. Also, no dust. But... okay, Chain Lightning secures a couple of more kills. Chaemiko wants to stay here, builds a tower, builds a shop if I saw this. But what I wanted to say, the breakers in front of course as well. In the previous fights, the casters were a little bit exposed. He fixed that now, and he moves away from Water Elementals into more AoE, which is the better choice.
Yeah, great game here by Chaemiko. The AoE really starting to stack up. And the thing is, if Lin now tries to defend this expansion, which finally finished, he doesn't have a single heal scroll this time.
Yeah.
Not even one. And before, he lost the fight with 2 heal scrolls. Oh, he built a lumber mill over there to be able to get some more lumber because Chaemiko actually doesn't have much wood anymore. The shop there also would be great for potions, for clarities, for regen scrolls. And this human army might be able to outlast the opponent. Drunken Haze for the fire. Oh my god, hits the entire orc force.
And Lin, what do you do now? If you give up this position, your expansion is gonna go down. This Panda won't stop to ignite everything. He's setting the world on fire right now. TC with the storm, but hits mostly breakers. Not too great. The Panda, of course, as well. But the next Breath of Fire is lining up. He just has to be careful to not be stomped, not be nuked. AoE intensifies with another Blizzard here. TC finally finds a greater position. Chaemiko immediately moves back. Only gets the hero, so is it hero focus time now? Chaemiko forced into a TP. Could have gone for the Invo Potion, but rather takes the secure over it, and now the expo's up.
Wow, what a hold there by Lin. He almost lost his entire army, but just barely enough healing, just barely enough heal scrolls. He holds on right here, and now he's about to hit double level 5, which, to be fair, against breakers isn't that huge, but against everything else, it certainly is, and he should be getting there pretty soon. Big army now for Lin, big supply lead. But he needs to make sure he still gets these heal scrolls. And maybe Chaemiko now is going to push again, realizing the scarcity of heal scrolls.
What a banger of a match to open up the last decisive day of a group stage. If there were any doubt that these players won't give their best, if you thought, okay, they're both Koreans, they know each other for 5 years, are there any shenanigans in play? No! They give their all, they give their best, they want the group stage victory. CORSAIR again, a little lucky with the nighttime. The staff wasn't on him anymore.
Yeah, you got the invuln there. The heal scroll might still be on cooldown. He's gonna have to wait for this fight to break out to get it again. Dragon Ace with the fire, good damage once more, but it's a big orc army. Militia train gonna arrive here soon. And the Blizzard coming in as well. Speed scroll used, going for the AM, looking for the hero kill, but there's an invul potion. Dodges the stun with the invul.
Oh, the beauty of Chaemiko. What an execution. Panda follows it up with damage into the backline. Lin is chasing Chaemiko around. That stomp hit wonderfully. What a concave. Now level 5. Huge stomp. Chain lightning rattling through as well with the lightning shield on top. Is that too much for Chaemiko? He's 20 supply down.
It seems like Lin has finally done it, and now guess what? He got that heal scroll, and the value is off the charts. Chaemiko calls for the GG in a very close game. He was almost able to beat the ultimate orc right there, but Lin gets the map win, and that puts him in the playoffs.
That is indeed another top 8 performance for Lin. Not a group stage elimination as it was in winter. And that means Hawk has been eliminated from WGL Summer 2021. Unfortunately, I think he can kind of blame himself a little. That second game against Chaemiko was his to take, and he got a little overconfident and threw it away. Everything would look very, very differently if he takes that one map off of Chaemiko, who's clean sheets are dirty now.
Yeah, but it was a very close game. It was really, really competitive. If just a bit more damage had been done by an earlier Blizzard maybe, or some more Breath of Fires, this could have also been Chaemiko's game. Both played really well this game, I think, but especially for Chaemiko, I think there's 2 things to improve on. I think going for an early Arcane Tower is much better than skipping it nowadays. If you go for the early Arcane, you can move out on the map and threaten creeping, and also go to the Orc base and threaten to kill the shop and to cancel the third burrow. The burrow normally isn't in a position to do this, but the shop certainly is. Chaemiko normally has looked really good early on, not being scared by the orc too much, but just being proactive himself. And if you don't go for a tower, that's almost impossible to do. So I think you should go definitely for that early tower before the tech. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, I think Chaemiko doesn't know yet that the Panda, if you micro him perfectly, can ignite 2 times with 1 Drunken Haze. So you can do Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, and then after 10 seconds do Breath of Fire again to ignite again and to have all that damage. He always used to throw out the second Drunken Haze as well, which costs a bit more mana and is a bit less efficient. So there is some min-maxing still to be done for Chaemiko, but I don't think he knows about the Breath of Fire trick. But still, this was a close game, and he can absolutely still take map number 2, which would give him first position in the group.
Don't you guys have like a movie recommendation WeChat group? Why is Coach Remo not telling him this?
Dude, this was in ESL Open Cup or something. I saw this already, and I wondered if I should tell him, but what am I gonna say to him? This comes off as so pretentious, doesn't it? Like, by the way, Chaemiko.
Dude, whatever you do comes off as pretentious. Why
I don't know if you
why
knew,
is that one time
I don't know if
issue?
you knew this, but actually, if you use the Panda in this way, you can min-max your damage a bit more. So, yeah, I didn't tell him yet. I know that Lawlight knows about this. We talked about that before. It's pretty hard to hit that timing. It's like a 1 second window, maybe 1.5 second window where you can use that Breath of Fire again. So you have to be really fast with Drunken Haze Breath of Fire the first time, and then as soon as the breath comes off cooldown, the second time, and then you can get the double ignite. I think this is also something that players are going to become more and more aware of. But of course, in these big fights with heal scrolls, with end snares flying, with invul potion and everything, it's really hard to play around that cooldown perfectly. But yeah, there is a little bit of room for improvement here for Chaemiko. But still, even if this was his first loss of the tournament, he still looked really good. He is still showing up here on the 4th day of the group stage.
Hippo is coming in with a comment in chat. If you get the early Arcane, your tech is also unbelievably late. And this is something like a blanket that is too short, right? You can't cover it all. So if you go for the early tech, you are less secure. If you move the blanket a little further up and go for the early tech, then you're less secure. So that's the trade-offs in the strategy game, eh?
Yeah, that's true. The tech is definitely later. But normally you can catch up with that since you have the much faster second hero. Your second hero is still faster coming from the tavern than the opponent's is. And as I said, you can, with that tower, go for a threat out on the map. You can threaten to creep something or threaten to push his base. All of that is much harder to do, borderline impossible if you don't go for that tower. And the thing is, Chaemiko has done this before, and so has Sok. Going for the early tower to be secure in your main, and more importantly, to be able to go out on the map. So of course it comes with a trade-off, but I think the trade-off would be definitely worth it. Now, on some maps for certain, like on some maps you cannot creep the militia. You use the militia to creep to level 2 on the way to tier 2, right? We see that all the time on Concealed. You creep the first camp, you move out, you tech, call the militia, and then you creep level 2. That's also doable on Autumn Leaves with the green camp there around the corner. On Last Refuge, for example, it would not be possible. So there I could see, okay, maybe there you don't want to go for an early tower. But whenever you can securely get level 2 and move out on the map, I think you should go for that tower. But I'm sure Chaemiko also had a good reason not to do this. Maybe he felt he had to have that panda even earlier and even willing to sacrifice level 2 AM for such a long time. But it's always nice, right? To have that level 2 early, because that Brilliance Aura, that mana regen, starts stacking up over time. And now, for our next map, which is going to start soon, we're going to figure out who's going to make it in first place out of this group, which I think both would like to do, to dodge players like Colorful.
True that. Yeah, you keep touting that colorful horn, aren't you? But yeah, it's about to start. It's gonna be Tidehunters. To give you a little overview over the group at the moment, Chaemiko still leads currently with 6 points. Lin, with this one map, is up to 5 points. That means Hawk at 1 point can't catch up anymore. Hawk and PCG out. But if Lin wins this next map, he gets 2 extra points. And that means he would be able to go up to 7 and then overtake Chaemiko and win Group C. And that's what we will decide here. A best of 1 for the group win.
Absolutely. We've talked about this these last couple of days. This group stage is really exciting because every single map matters every time. And here on the final day, we're going to have even more pressure put on top, with many of these maps being deciders for advancement or better seeding. Of course, now the main pressure is off of Lin, knowing he's in the playoffs already, but now he's going to try to double down on his success and get that first place. And we're going to have the groups then drawn by the end of the day, I would expect.
Wonder who does it? Who's in charge? I think BBC isn't around. We are not around. Sky, I don't know. He was there before.
Well, Zhao Tian is definitely looking very dapper with his bow tie right there. I think he could go on stage and,
do it.
use that. I'm not. What's the name for that thing where you put the balls in this little circle thing and you spin them all around? That's the word I'm missing right now.
Lotto.
But anyways, what we don't want to miss, the map number 2, the lottery. I guess, yeah, that works. Tidehunters is going to be a similarly usable map early on for the human. You creep militia, the first biggerish camp, the orange, to get a good start into the game, and then you can again use militia to get that level 2 securely. The question here will be again, is Chaemiko going to go for an early tower now? If he does, he's going to have much more of an opportunity to go out on the map.
Alrighty, map number 2, Tidehunters decides the fate of Group C. Hawk then could later fight for rank 3. If he loses against PCG, then he's last place in the group. Always feels a little bad. He deserves better, I think. But first of all, this human versus orc. Lin in the bottom, right-hand side, once again going for the fast-tier Headhunter, and Chaemiko in the human blue upper left.
So the opening builds are looking very comparable. I think it's the next 20 lumber that's going to tell us what shall happen next. And it's a farm again. Alright, so Chaemiko doesn't want to go for this early tower, wants to skip these resources, have a faster tech. And then probably going to go for the same thing again, go for a tavern hero and push. The important thing, of course, is you have to be completely evasive with your footman early on. Before you have defend, you don't want to take any kind of fight, any kind of skirmish. The headhunters will always come out on top. So you have to be very disciplined in not going for a fight, even if sometimes you feel you should, you have to, or you want to. You're not supposed to do it until finally defend is ready. AM is gonna get 1.7 or something like that from this camp. And the Farsi are gonna show up to harass here any moment.
Alrighty, makes the way across Tidehunters. So with that result of map 1, Focus and Colorful are the only players that might end up with a clean sheet. Colorful is already 6-0. Focus could secure that later versus Moon. Group D, of course, everybody is trading wins left and right. But Chaemiko, no flawless run into the round of 8. But yeah, let's see how much damage Lin can do.
X starts quite early on, and this time Chaemiko looking very bold. He's moving out with the AM, ready to creep perhaps. Just the footies at home defending, that's also interesting. But okay, now he brings back the Archmage, actually wants to make sure here his economy isn't going to suffer too much. I would have liked that quite a bit if the AM moved out on the map, because there's a lot of green camps the Archmage can creep solo. Like the Murlocs close to the marketplace, but also the Sea Turtle ones in the middle, somewhat close to the Merchant. But Chaemiko is playing this careful and slow in the early stage. Again, going for the tower somewhat late. This is the difference between him and Sok, I believe. Sok, I think, is going for the tower much faster and then wants to go out on the map. Because if you go out on the map, get that level 2, you can oftentimes cancel the Orc shop, which can also be a big problem for the Orc player. But that's something that Chaemiko is not relying on in this early game.
Yeah, but if you compare Chaemiko's and Sok's results recently, then little Chae Moon might be doing the better decisions recently.
Well, he's definitely been playing better overall. But I'm not sure that this opening build is straight up a better option. Deciding to take a bit of a trade here now before defense is finished. And going for an early lumber mill this time. One peasant close to dying, waiting also finally for the arcane to finish. And that's why I don't like so much about this early build with a late tower. You're just completely on the receiving end until finally you have defend and finally have the tower up, which is going to be the case now. But as we see, the AM is still not level 2.
Yeah, I mean, humans should be used to that, right? What can you do without defend? Not too much against undead, against night elves also very, very hard. So they should have learned by now. Defend available, that's kind of the sign of retreat for Lin. Oh, shouldn't get surrounded there. Don't want to use that early TP. No lost headhunters so far, so both played relatively careful. No big losses here. Pretty much the same as on Autumn Leaves, where, yeah, there's skirmishes, but there's no big pickups yet.
It's a great game by Lin, by the way. I mean, it hasn't been too flashy yet, but he put some damage on the footies, he put some damage on the AM, which is really important. If the AM is low HP, it's gonna be much, much harder to play that tier 2 pressure play against the Orc base. It's gonna be a Panda again. The idea is again gonna be to be aggressive here with the defend footies, but the Archmage is still not level 2. And this basically all, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but this all comes down to the decision of not going for an Arcane Tower early. Let's see how much he can do even without the Aura. Troll Region is coming in early, especially against Breath of Fire. That makes a lot of sense to have passive Region over time. Early Grunt once more. So 5 Headhunters into Grunts. Earlier we saw a Grunt getting killed and 2 Headhunters getting killed, so that was decent damage by Chaemiko. But I think this time, Lin is in a much better defensive position.
This almost turns it into a Remo solo cast here with all the insights and opinion he shares with you guys. Chaemiko comes in for a little bit of a harass. This Lodge is very, very vulnerable, but he takes great care of that Water Elemental. There's no mana since Chaemiko is still level 1, so Archmage has to commit to this and calculates it well. In the end, skipping Shaman or delaying Shaman for a little bit, but this is a very low mana Archmage. No progress on the Archmage. Panda can't creep at the same time. Doesn't do any damage to actual units. Wonder if that's worth it.
Yeah, this was a really good defense by Lin. This is not enough. You want to get out with more than that damage-wise out of the early game. One more Headhunter gonna go down. This would be number 2. As one has died so far, the Panda is chasing another, but this Headhunter gets away. So this time only 2 Headhunters, not even a Grunt kill. There was a cancel of the Lodge, but it was not really far into production, so it wasn't that big of a delay. And this was a wonderful defensive play by Lin, adapting here to this new human style. And Chaemiko is not satisfied with the damage he did here going into the mid game.
Well, I'm not satisfied with the damage he did there. Double Sanctum up again. This lack of Brilliance Aura hurts him so much. Like, what's his option now? Even this effect's even creeping. Like, there's maybe one summon. Now he can use the shop, of course, to get a little bit of mana up. But yeah, no level 2 on neither of the heroes. On neither of all heroes here. What a weird game 7 minutes in.
Yeah, but Lynn's gonna start power creeping here on the TC very quickly. Got level 2 already, and now could go for some big experience also at the Merchant, where lots of XP points can be gathered. Finally, we have AM level 2. Man, that took forever. Chaemiko earlier on map 1 had a bit of trouble spending all of his money on tier 2, having like 700 gold at times. Now again, 500 gold, so once more, lots of gold for the human to spend. Can go into mana potion soon, but first, he wants to get that panda level 2 and level 3. And that's the issue with his army. You don't have much DPS, you can't creep too easily, which is certainly not a problem for the ORC. Going for the first heal scroll of the game, I imagine, yeah. It's only one shop on this map, so shop control for those heal scrolls is gonna be a crucial factor.
Remo stealing my thunder here. Yeah, I always love that when it's only one shop there and we have these tugs of war. On map 1, Lyn was able to get most of it. Like, to be honest, in the situation we were in on Autumn Leaves, there was also only one shop, right? Because the bottom right was just way too far away. And Lyn is very, very good at controlling this and hitting the timings and having the resources available. Finally some time for the panda to level up, and there's an ivory tower.
Is he trying to expand? He might be. Lumber's looking good for Chaemiko. Call 5 militia and put down the ivory for a quick tower, I guess, for a quick arcane. But we have the TC creeping up to level 3. He got the big healing potion, which is very nice. The panda, not quite level 3 yet. But if he calls the militia down to the south to the big gargantuan camp, that should be enough to get that level 3. Already went for an early mana potion here, did Chaemiko. And Lyn now seems to look for the first big fight of the game. A wonderful scout here by the illusion. Seeing Chaemiko moving down to the gold mine is certainly quite suspicious.
Alright then, can Lyn punish this? We have Chain Lightning, we have a strong Stomp, we have that heal scroll, and the Shaman should be ready as well. Damage is good, regen is good. Love that early Kodo to just give an extra bit of damage. Accelerates everything there as well. And Lyn is just in God mode when it comes to prevent expansions this series.
Yeah, his map movement, his reading of the map is absolutely impeccable. And now he's going for a Wind Rider. Also very smart, why not? Where's the anti-air really? We have Water Elementals, which are only level 1, and of course those are gonna get purged, and those Wyvern are gonna do good damage to the caster backline. Panda now with the next item found the ring, I believe?
Devotion Aura is of course nice to have, but yeah, I would have loved some other, I guess. Still has, I really love that mana potion constantly. It's not that expensive. It needs level 3 before the next fight, and not too easy to get if you look into the middle. Like, Marketplace is gone, Shop is gone, there's a little bit of green that he might be using, but he's also under a little bit of pressure as Lyn starts the expo.
Just one creep, just one single green creep, but Chaemiko not able to find it yet. He's sending out scout footies, looking for an expansion. There's nothing over there at the natural, but down at the gargantuan, Lyn is going for that second base. Also creeping away the enemy gargantuan camp, gonna get another big consumable, and next invul potion. He's a little over-equipped on survivability. Double big invul and big healing, probably not as exactly what he wants. Big mana potion there could have been great, but didn't find it. Panda finally gets level 3, calls the boys, and is gonna go for a tower push here, I suppose.
Yep, here we go. Lyn's group stage this year ends like the last year with a tower push. Very, very different, of course. Maybe that's Chaemiko also a bit frustrated that Lyn is just reading him like a children's book and knows exactly what's up. And I guess he got an ivory as well, so that supports it.
I guess so. The Wand of Illusion here on the TC also wonderful. That soaks up so much damage over time. Oh, coming in with a Dispel though. That was nicely done. Stomp hits hugely on the entire front line there, basically. Peasants part of it as well. Panda waiting for the first combo. Here it comes. Drunken Head's Breath of Fire into the back. And remember, there's only one heal scroll on the Orc.
Archmage has to reposition, so have the casters. Once again, a massive stomp onto the support units, but heals against the Lightning Shield and the stomp with a heal scroll. That was an excellent timing by Chaemiko. Big fight for the group stage victory here. TC retreats, has no mana anymore, also no potion. Oh, wait, no, it's overlapping, right? He doesn't have any mana anymore. Kodo comes in, I think did snack already. The Wyvern almost untouched, level 3 on the Farseer, but the backline is falling apart for Lin.
Yeah, the Headhunters, the Shaman there, everything's super low HP. But so far, he's able to keep it alive. But the Fire coming in again. Panda now getting ensnared. Panda in trouble. But there's an Invul Potion again to keep him safe. Holding on to it as long as he can. Oh, I love the patience here by Chaemiko. Not panicking and going into the Invul too quickly. Just casting him Invis. Comes out of Invis again with the Breath of Fire. And both sides losing plenty of units. Now it's time for the Invul Potion. Finally. And the Priest keeps healing him up. Not sure who this fight is going to, but Chaemiko certainly has a supply lead.
Oh, the Breath of Fire was gorgeous again. Level 4 on the Panda. Little bit of extra armor now. Getting attacked. This Raider is about to fall as well. Excellent micro saving a lot of units. Raiders being slowed. The army attacks. This is just excellent human play as we expected from Chaemiko at this point. Another kill right there. Lin at 47. Chaemiko 54. The expo for Lin should be up, but I'm not too sure if there's actually mining going on.
It seems like the Peon Slide might only be coming now, and Chaemiko now with a better position to get this heal scroll. I think the single shop on Tidehunters has a big, plays a big role here in why Chaemiko is winning this game. If Lin had access to another shop closer to his main, if there was 2 on this map, he would have had double heal scroll, and that would have been completely different story. Would have changed everything this game. Kodo Beast. Oh, that one was on a journey. Don't know where he was going. On the path to enlightenment, but that might lead to death here in the end. Oh, both Kodos are hurt. But, okay, Speed Scroll gets him out there. Nice saves by Lin. He's looking at the expo, but he's also way down in supply right now.
You know, Remo, the Kodos are always hungry, and in the middle there's a lot of crab critters. So I can understand them making a move, but okay, a little risky to go alone. Little risky also for Lin to go for this expansion. Chaemiko punishes this now, or tries to destroy it now. Peon's already making a move back, and I don't see any chance for Lin to hold. Is he town portaling and defending this, or is he just letting it go? He's doing an Elsa, right?
I think so. Just gonna give it up. He got a bit of money out of it. Not much though. But what we saw before on map 1 is how the Orc heroes late game could really take over. The level 3 Chain Lightning and Stomp did huge damage, and the TC's almost there again. He's gonna get level 5 here in no time. The Farseer, however, this time around is gonna have much further to go for this. And Chaemiko looking good now. He got a TP to be safe. He can creep some more camps here in the south. And it's going to get level 4 AM and level 4.5 Panda from this.
And I did not think that this game would be going Chaemiko's way after the early game. Gets the red spot now, which is nice. And Lin, what is he doing in the meantime? Cripping is natural, which is not the greatest experience ever. Also not the biggest item here. And there's not much to do on that side of the map except Marketplace and, of course, the shop in the middle. Love these Invis plays on the Panda, by the way. Throughout the entire series, we've seen this. There's no AoE to spell, and Lin not even going for dust to reveal this. So the Panda's always in a perfect spot.
Yeah, he's also scouting with an Invis. Footy, by the way. Footy doing the Shade cosplay, was following the Orc army around, so Chaemiko saw this little ambush coming in. He's going to take this fight clearly. Oh, retrain to Shockwave! Chain wave, long range, trying to take out the casters, artillery style from far away. That's pretty cool, but also cool is the heal ward taken out quickly. Next shockwave coming in. Oh, but the chain lightning follow-up isn't there. The Farseer here almost out of mana. The Breath of Fire is huge. Heal scroll needed. And that was the only one. Lin has to TP out. Can't take this fight anymore.
Double
he
kill,
finds the triple kill though with that shockwave.
Oh, what's going on? What an explosive fight between them. The AoE is off the charts. Level 3 chain wave, or level 2 chain lightning, level 3 shockwave. Big Breath of Fire's coming in. Wouldn't be too surprised to see Blizzard in the end, so we would have 4 AoE spells in this very game. And with only one shot, man, these heal scrolls, the stonks go up for them.
Yeah, it's absolutely critical to get these heal scrolls, and yeah, only one shop is gonna make it very hard for the player who doesn't have map control, which is right now Lin, to be able to secure them for himself. It's going to be a cancel on the expansion. Chaemiko sitting at the unfortunate 51 supply. Todd, I hope you're, well, not too distraught by this. I almost want to say I hope you're not watching, but you definitely have to watch this game. Are you kidding me? Both these guys are performing wonderfully this group stage and are showing us one hell of a game.
As it was game 1, man. This is probably pinnacle orc versus human in this meta at this point.
CORSAIR gets the level 4 as well, creeping up a bit more. That is unfortunately entirely useless, as the wolves would just get stolen. Did you just go for Farsight? No, wait, that was a crystal ball. That would have been funny.
Could have been, though.
Going to Chaemiko and big item.
Double heal scroll for Chaemiko as well, plus the little bit of regen. OTC about to steal the item here. That would have been a cool move. Risky move, but also cool. Level 5 on the Panda is not too far away. And damage intensifies. Item, not the greatest. A little bit of tankiness for him.
Yeah, he should get 5 here, shouldn't he? With the natural, with the green camps around.
Yep.
Should be able to get it, and it's going to be huge damage. He doesn't have heal scrolls yet. I mean, mana potions yet, but I think he will go for them soon. But Lin wants to force the fight before the Panda hits that level 5. And Chaemiko sees the army, sees no TC, and sees no aura, and must be aware that the TC is invis here somewhere.
Smart, Remo, smart. Purge already used. Supply-wise, Chaemiko with a little lead. Oh, that shaman, where are you going, my friend? Little suicidal. And that is all clumped up. He's just inviting him to this barbecue. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, everything's burning.
Lin again trying to expand the 3rd time. But Orc Expos take 2.5 minutes. That's a long while that you have to distract to make sure it's coming up. Chaemiko this whole time is in upkeep, so he's losing quite a bit of gold. But he's got such a strong force, he's never losing anything that he can afford to lose this bit of income. Finally gets to creep up the natural, gets gloves, which is alright, I suppose. And he gets the level 5. That's the big one.
Okay. I would usually say, if I'm not looking at the names of this game, just at the units and the state they're in, the human takes this. There's no way about it. But then I look at the ID of the orc player and I see it's Lin, and I remember how he clawed his way back into the game against PCG on day 2. And then I think it's still everybody's game to take.
Yeah, absolutely. Lin is a master of comebacks, like his countryman Moon has been also for years. And finally, Lin was able to distract enough, run around the map enough, buy enough time, not just for the expo to be started again, but also to get heal scrolls. He has double heal scroll now, which is going to be a big help. However, that might not even be enough against the Panda level 5. Look at that. First Recognize Breath of Fire comes in, doesn't even hit the whole army, but the things that it hits, it almost takes down right away. 2 raiders going down and a grunt gonna follow. Heal scroll is not doing enough, and I think Lin is on his last leg here.
I agree, he got the necessary point, he got to advance into the round of 8. Chain Wave, always nice to see, but oh, the beauty of Heal Scroll and Heal Wave so far in the back. There's no chance to reach that. The breakers create so much space, the Panda as well. You don't want to step into that fire if you're Lin. And then the entire army is healed up again, and that Chain Wave was completely useless.
Wonderful positioning here by Chaemiko, making sure he keeps his casters alive as best as he can. Also Lin, by the way, landing these shockwaves really well. Landing the Chain Lightning, of course, a little bit easier. Imagine if he had had better mid-game. Imagine if he had crept a bit more and he had now level 3 Chain Lightning. And then it could be insta-gib every time with Chain Wave.
I mean, Lin practiced these shockwaves for 15 years straight when it was talent meta, right? So he got really, really good at that and still got... like... throwing shockwaves like riding a bike.
And again, breaking out of invis, and he's just such a boss right now, this Panda.
Very important.
Also, this tankiness is not bad for him. He must have like 1200 hit points or something. Chain Lightning in the back again, big damage, but again, the heal ward, how great of an item this of course was. Heal ward in the back now, healing up, Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire once more. Still mana potions available on this Panda, and he's just not taking much damage. Chain Lightning comes through again, but it's just not enough. Second heal scroll committed, and now Lin out of healing again.
Yeah, and what do? There's still mana, of course, to use. He's maybe hoping for level 5 and the level 3 Chain Lightning. He's constantly... Oh, there's the Chain Wave. Still a heal scroll against it. Chaemiko always has the heal scrolls. Kodo Micro is good, saving them, but they're out of the fight. So is the Aura. And ORC's HP is just barely visible. Everything Lin has. Where's the Crimson Mask? And I'm not too sure if he can get out of there.
He's trying everything. Lin is certainly not giving up this game too easily. Oh my god, the next breath of fire could be like 5 kills.
Oh!
No, it's only 2, but it could be more following after. 5.5 now on the Panda. The AM is almost level 5 himself. And Moon now, or Lin now being pushed into his base.
Panda
hasn't had this much of a struggle here this whole series. Breath of fire coming in again. More kills. Lin down to 40 supply only. Hardly any units left, and Chaemiko should be getting the draw.
Heal scrolls, very important. Lin not giving this up yet. Another chain wave. He gets a kill this time. Not enough for level 5. On the other side, Archmage does get it. Could be Aura, could be even more Breath of Fire. We're getting kind of close to Earth, Storm, and Fire. We also mined out the map. A very long tug of war between the two, but I think this is only Chaemiko's game to throw at this point. Needs to be a major mistake, exposing the heroes or something. But in the shape he's in, that's not happening to him. Again, shop control, again the heal scrolls, and the next fight seems unwinnable for Lin.
Alright, Farseer got level 5. Can we at least get some fireworks chain wave into the back line? The problem is there's still gonna be breakers left after.
Yep.
But let's take a look at this chain wave. Oh, this time the wave doesn't connect really. But Lin is going in. Speed scroll, looking for the kills. Is he going for the hero? He might be. The AM seems to be a bit exposed here. He has a heal scroll, pops it right away. Chain wave coming through again, but no Storm to stun him. So the AM seems to be making it out.
And he also has some invis to work with. You could try to shockwave the Archmage, even if he's invis. But yeah, Lin is doing the absolute best with what he has. But Chaemiko is just all over the place right there. Another surround. Even blocks the Kodo with the Panda a little to dodge the Devour. Really, really good. Another Chain Lightning, another wave. But there's the Invis and there's no mana anymore. And that should be it. Oh, reveal used actually. Level 6 on the TC. Would love to die now to get a bigger mana pool. But probably not happening. Lin ran out of steam.
Lin playing these heroes like an undead, like DK Lich, just running around, throwing out the nukes, looking for kills. And he was close, man. He was really close. AM and Panda both dropping low, but once you run out of mana, that's it. We have the Peon gang coming in as well. Lin really is trying everything, but with only 26 supply, there's not much you can do. And oh my god,
it is... Earth, Storm, Fire, GG! No way about that. Hello, Cyclone. Maybe this is the first time I see this ult. Man, the Panda look really good, actually. GG! Chaemiko takes the map off of Lin and wins Group C.
Great series between the two, man. Both playing this really, really well. It was very close games. Both followed here after each other. And I think it really was the problem for Lin in the late game, not having access to more heal scrolls. If you don't get the 2 heal scrolls going up against the Panda, such a big problem. And smart map choice for Chaemiko, I guess. Tidehunters here seems to make a lot of sense. He makes it out of the group in first place. And Lin is gonna have to fight against another first place finisher, possibly against Colorful.
Oh man, I would love to see this in the playoffs again. Just a full out best of 5 like we saw in the DreamHack Regionals, where the games were really, really close and Chaemiko did so many good moves, but in the end, Lin was just this little bit better on every single map. I think the 3-0 doesn't really display what happened on the maps. So having a rematch of the DreamHack Regionals would be quite a dream for fans of this matchup, and maybe even a possible final if they end up on different sides of the bracket. Lin definitely stepping up his game compared to his first few matches. Didn't do any big mistakes this time. Was just Chaemiko being better.
Yeah, on map 2 especially, but it was so close between the two of them. You see the highlight here of the fight. Love how he was able to hold on to the invul for such a long time. The Panda, the late game carry. For years, it was the MK who was supposed to carry you in the late game, but nowadays the MK is just too slow. The Panda can also do something early on tier 2. And it's looking really, really nice.
Yeah, again, just like Colorful, making a big splash here at WGL Summer. Lin's shape is pointing upwards, I think, which is a very good sign. The most important days are yet to come. That is tomorrow and, of course, Championship Sunday. He's, of course, a competitor for the championship. He's been there before. He's been in 2 finals in total. Only 1 championship, though. So a second WGL title, I guess Lin wouldn't mind. Catching up to Moon maybe in the all-time earnings, where Moon created quite a bit of space between them. And Chaemiko, if he continues to play this way, then he might be the 9th different grand finalist that we ever had in WGL.
Would be wonderful to see, would really crown Chaemiko's recent performances if he could make it to a final. He wasn't close to it yet at all, but this, I think, is the strongest Chaemiko we have ever seen. You know, he's been around the scene for a long time. He used to play already back in the day in Zotac Cups, like many years ago, before the Renaissance. In fact, I know that Bidu loves bringing it up because he was the Zotac Cup admin back then, and Chaemiko was known under a different name. I forget which one it was, but he was playing Zotac Cup for many years already, and back then, as Bidu keeps telling me, is that Chaemiko really wasn't that good. It took him a long time to find that skill level, to be able to work his way there, and yeah, through diligent work, through just dedication, he got here. He got to the top stage, he got to world-class level, and now is beating former world champions.
Absolutely. I think he was playing under his real name, Chaemoon. So yeah, that was it. It's a little similar to Yumiko. When Yumiko first joined Mousesports with Fly, Fly was the big star and the carry in all the clan wars, and Yumiko was just, okay, if nobody is around, then we have someone to concede maps, I guess. But of course, then later turned into a world-class player himself, so seems to be a little bit of a pattern with the human players. This was game number 1, decision number 1. Chaemiko wins Group C, Lin follows him into the playoffs, Hawk and PCG out. They will battle for the 3rd place in this group later today, but now it's time for a decision in Group D, and that is Foggy versus Lawlion. Our Western representative, our last Western hope, needs a single map in this mirror match against Lawlion, who had a rough start into this tournament with a 0-2 against 15 Sway. We were all very surprised about that. Recovered yesterday a little bit by winning 1 map against 1-2-0, same as Foggy did. Foggy has the victory over 15 Sway, so he's on top of the group. If he wins 1 map, he is through. If he's losing, that could still be a tiebreaker depending on the result of 1-2-0 versus 15 Sway. But yeah, Foggy has his fate in his own hands. 1 map, round of 8.
Yeah, absolutely. Foggy here going into this last day, into this last match with a pretty good starting position, but he cannot get complacent. Lawlion has, over the last couple of months, seemingly had a bit of trouble in Night of Mirror against the top dogs, but he still can absolutely bust out his best play, and you have to be very careful against him. But Foggy sounded confident before. In the interview, we heard that he feels really good in Night of Mirror right now, views it as his strongest matchup, and indeed, only a single map will be sufficient to make it a top 8 run, at least for Foggy again, where it just seems like he belongs nowadays. Normally in WGL, he always performs, and normally he pretty much always also gets into the playoffs, and the Ukrainian is trying to keep the Western hopes alive, as Hawk could unfortunately not make it.
All right then, here that we get a Lin interview, but unfortunately we won't have a translator this time. Wong is busy currently, but you will probably hear from Lin. We'll keep it on for all the native Chinese speakers in chat. We have a big host by Hitman, thank you very much. We also got 2 new subs here. Venerable Space and Elliot, much love you guys. If you want to support us, feel free to check out the About section on this channel, or if you watch on YouTube, then the video description. As we are powered by CORSAIR, we might be able to do you a little good if you head over to corsair.com and find products that you like. Feel free to use the coupon code BACK2WARCRAFT to get a 10% discount. They also have weekly deals where you save a little money already, but our coupon code is so special that it even applies to the weekly deals, Remo. We're basically just giving money away.
It sounds like we're an infomercial. But yeah, guys, thank you all for the support. If you want to support us some more, as Neo said, you can check it out below the stream. And yeah, our first game of the day is in the books, and we're gonna hear from our second map. No, wait. This time they're going with the loser, and they're gonna put Lin in. Oh yeah, true. First.
All right, enjoy.
晋级8强的感想，以及他对自己的这个传奇选手头像是一个什么样的评价呢？
일단 8강 진출하셔서 축하드리고요. 8강 진출했는데 소감 한마디 부탁드리고 또한 이번에 골드리그에서 캐릭터 하나 그려주셨는데 이 캐릭터에 대해서 어떻게 생각하세요?
일단 캐릭터에 대해 말하자면 저랑 얼굴은 되게 비슷한데 파시엄 말고 다른 영웅이었으면 더 좋았을 것 같고요. 그리고 이번에 그룹 스테이지 하면서 선수들이 다 잘하더라고요. 이게 신맵에 대한 이해도도 높고 그래서 좀 힘들었던 것 같습니다.
首先对于这个角色的话，他觉得画的就是很像，但是如果不是先知的话就会更好。然后以及小组赛的话，这次因为是投入到了2个新的地图，但是其他的选手对2个地图的理解还有一些打法都比较好，所以他的小组赛打得非常的艰难。
是。那作为我们美兽王令的话，如果不是先知让他来选择的话，他更倾向于是哪一个英雄呢？
혹시 파시어 말고 선호하는 영웅이 있다면 어떤 영웅을 많이 좋아하세요?
파시어보다는 섀도우 헌터가 낫지 않았을까라고 생각됩니다.
比起先知的话，他觉得那个小歪可能会更合适一点。
哦，看来令神心中已经有自己的专属了哈。那其实，在赛前采访的时候，令神也说到自己想要这个复仇 Chaemiko， 想要欺负一下他。但是这个比赛打成了1比1平，也让他评价一下在这场比赛当中这个
We do get the translation by Wong actually. Okay, so once again, as always, the typical introduction. Hey Lin, say hello to the fans. Hello, I'm Lin. And we give Wong some time to transfer, to translate the other questions here.
왜 그러냐면 제가 헤드헌터 사용하면서 휴먼전에 되게 자신이 있었고.
Now you made it to the quarterfinals, to the round of 8. How do you feel and how do you like the avatar that Nettie's created for you?
휴먼 유저들이 좀 파이법을 많이 찾아가지고 이번에 준비해서 온 것도 되게 중요한 것 같고요. 신맵 봤는데 오가 딱히 유리한 것 같지가 않더라고요. 그래서 좀 더 준비를 해야 할 것 같습니다.
首先对战人族的话，就是猎头这套打法，他还是很有信心的去战胜人族的。但是，还有以及最近新的地图，他觉得就是对兽族来说，这个地图是对兽族有利的。但是通过这个小组赛之后，他发现其实对兽族不是很好，所以他需要再寻找一些新的战术。然后以及最近人族选手其实对新的地图的理解度以及打法都是有一个就比较成熟的一个体系吧，所以他觉得对于新的地图来说，他还要再去钻研一些战术出来。
Well, the avatar is nice, but I prefer the other heroes to the Farseer. And I think about the match, I think Chaemiko has a better understanding about the new maps, and that's why this series was really hard for me. So if you like the other heroes better, what hero would you prefer? Well, I would love to be the Shadow Hunter. They chose the Farseer for him. Here are the avatars, as you can see, with a couple of other players in as well. We got Fly as a Blade Master, etc., etc. Foggy with a Keeper, Lawlight as the Warden, and so on. Colorful, a very devious Demon Hunter, man, looking awesome. We go into a little bit of a break, 4 minutes, 45 seconds, and then it's time to Foggy to decide his fate. Will he go into the round of 8 and knock out Lawlight, or is it a comeback for the Korean? We'll be right back.